and welcome to Module 5 of our class here. This is for natural resources. So this week we're going to be talking about food, always a very fun subject, of course, to talk about, but really looking at food for basic growth and development here. So let's go ahead and share screen so we can kind of go over what is due and what to do for the week here. So you should see my screen here. So again, we're on Module 5, looking at food. Food, of course, being a very basic need for life, for nutrition, for growth, for development. We need food to survive. We need food to get over our hangry spells, as we call them. We have very low blood sugar here. So a lot of different things that we need food for. So the module introduction. Here, just look at the objectives here. So what we're going to be learning about, of course, looking at the differences of food availability over time and the different sources of food. You have a very interesting discussion that some of you have already done. So very good job so far. So looking at diets, looking at the fad diets as well too. So looking at Mediterranean diet, keto diet, locavore, vegetarian, vegan, a whole bunch of different diets as well. So again, just a quick little intro to food, looking at genetically modified organisms and looking at those kinds of things. Go ahead and take a look at the overview. Your readings this week, you're going to go back to chapters 3 and 4 of our textbook. There's also a few articles here. So looking at cod, a biography of fish that changed the world. I know it's not as common today, but way back when cod oil was used as a kind of like a vitamin supplement. I remember my aunts telling me stories about how they would have to take cod fish oil, and it was not very flavorful, as you can imagine. Looking at the omnivore's dilemma. So an omnivore, of course, someone that eats meat and plants. So what is their dilemma? And then beef's environmental costs. So looking at how meat has contributed to environmental degradation of air, soil, water. So your discussion this week is called Bringing Home the Bacon. You're going to investigate different diets from around the world, and you're going to look at and compare the ecological impacts. So here are some links that you can use. So food system energy use. So here, try to understand the tables and follow the arguments made. Don't worry if they don't really make sense. Just kind of get an overall understanding of what they're trying to talk about. You can look at diet energy and greenhouse gas emissions link, or the food and life cycle energy inputs, or just do your own research. If you have a country in mind that you want to compare different food resources from the United States. So you're going to use these sources in your own research to think about different diets and how they're related to natural resource consumption. Then you're going to select a specific dietary choice. Discuss the average natural resource consumption required for components for a typical meal. Then comment on what changes you think could be made on the typical diet in the U.S., helping to reduce ecological impact. What changes do you think people would abide by? Maybe looking at consumption habits, how often we eat, what we eat, portion control as well too. In your response post, just compare and contrast the diet that you selected with one of your classmates. What are the energy inputs different? How are they different? Is there an explanation for the different energy inputs? It'd be interesting to see what we come across with different countries here. And then your assignment that is due. Remember, we kind of prepped about this looking at, I think it was first introduced in Module 2 or maybe 3, but it's due this week, Module 5. So this is looking at your project milestone, Part 2. You did outline before, just kind of looking at it, so you're going to be kind of filling in more information here. So this is going to include the first 2 sections of your final paper. In the first section, you're going to summarize your research on historical development. So getting the outline that you did, and then just expanding on it. Looking at inception through modern day usages from both the American culture as well as the global culture. And then in the second section, you're going to explain the real world applications of your chosen topic. So this should include costs, personnel needs, availability, time frame, and local laws. So again, kind of going back to what is due for this week, we look at Module 5. Your initial post due for your discussion, Bring Home the Bacon, is due by Thursday. Your 2 follow-up responses due by Sunday. And then your final project milestone, Part 2, looking at the first 2 sections of your final paper, expanding on that, also due Sunday. So here is the final project guideline rubric. Make sure you look at milestone 2 rubric just to know how I will be grading your assignment there. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to some great discussions about food this week.